But I want to talk about the topic everyone has been dying to get more of, and that is Jo-Ann Fabrics. And Jo-Ann Fabrics has put out an announcement this week about a new project that the company is doing. And I have some mixed feelings about this. All right, so let's bring this up. So I saw this and I was like, okay. Despite Jo-Ann's basically at this point being like a sinking ship where people are trying to like get on the lifeboats, think of Jo-Ann as kind of like the Titanic at this point, you know, like the Titanic movie. So instead of trying to like maybe fix the ship or something like that, Jo-Ann's has kind of put out like this little side project, and I'm like, okay, so let's take a look at what Jo-Ann's is doing. So Jo-Ann's has put out this press release this week, and we'll read this. So Jo-Ann announces partnership with nonprofit Loose Ends Project, matching volunteers with crafts loved ones have left unfinished. Now, I think overall, big picture, I think it's a good thing to try to get all of these. Look, a lot of us, we're being real. I've got a lot of works in progress or stuff I started and I didn't finish. And I do think it's a worthy pursuit to try to get a lot of these unfinished, like sewing, quilting, knitting projects finished. I think that's super cool. But I do have some thoughts on what I think about Jo-Ann specifically being involved. All right, press release. The nation's category leader, Jo-Ann Inc., the nation's category leader in sewing and fabrics with one of the largest arts and crafts offerings, is proud to announce a new partnership with nonprofit organization Loose Ends Projects. Loose Ends aims to ease grief, create community, and inspire generosity by matching volunteer handwork finishers with projects people have left unfinished due to death or disability. Jo-Ann and Loose Ends will kick off their partnership, offering exclusive discounts for project finishers, in-kind product donations, and all Jo-Ann locations nationwide will serve as designated meetup spots for loved ones and finishers to swap projects. Jo-Ann has always been deeply committed to our communities, and there is nothing more inspiring than seeing the connections between our creative customers, their crafts, and the projects they give to those they love, said Chris DiTullio, Chief Customer Officer and Interim Office of the CEO. Jo-Ann is proud to partner with Loose Ends to continue connecting crafts left. I feel like, did they repeat that? All right, this is pretty much, I feel like this is created by ChatGPT or something. To continue connecting crafts left behind with finishers around the world so loved ones can cherish the creator's memory in the way they intended. Loose Ends is honored to partner with Jo-Ann. From the very beginning, Jo-Ann generously provided needed materials to complete unfinished projects, said Maisie Kaplan, Loose Ends Project co-founder. Now, as a formal sponsor, they are providing critical resources that allow our organization to grow and further our mission. We are aligned in the belief that a handmade object is an expression of love, and we are grateful for their support of the crafting community. To continue its support, Jo-Ann will host a point-of-sale campaign for the month of February 2024, when customers can donate $1, $5, or $10, or round up their purchase to the nearest dollar. All proceeds will benefit the mission of Loose Ends Project. The idea for Loose Ends came about when the founders, both avid knitters, realized that they had a shared experience. Friends would often ask them to finish blankets, sweaters, or other projects left unfinished by deceased loved ones. They would always do so enthusiastically, understanding what it feels like to wear something a loved one has made. But not everyone has a friend who's a skilled crafter. That's where Loose Ends comes in. Instead of wondering where to turn, surviving family and friends can find out about the volunteer network of Loose Ends through referrals from craft stores, from an online search, or through word of mouth. Since its formation in 2022, Loose Ends has nearly 20,000 volunteer finishers from every state in the U.S., plus Puerto Rico and D.C., as well as in 54 other countries. To learn more about Loose Ends or to become a finisher or submit a project, visit looseendsproject.org. For more information on Jo-Ann, including store locations, visit joann.com. So that's the latest from Jo-Ann. Now, look, I think on the surface, this seems like a perfectly like nice charitable thing to do. Here's where I'm kind of like WTF though. I'm like, Joann's has a lot of problems currently. They're on the risk of filing for bankruptcy. The stock price is 46 cents. Like, I'm not saying this is like a wrong move or a bad thing to do, but I guess my question is, should this be like the top priority at Joann's right now? Like, probably not. Like, I've never heard of this organization. I did see they were just founded less than 2 years ago. So, like, I've never heard of this organization before. I think the idea is nice. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I just think, like, this is like, again, if this was like Titanic, this would be like trying to plug the iceberg damage with like a Band-Aid or something, or with like a piece of tape. Like, I think the sentiment behind it is nice. Here's my question though. One, I hate when businesses ask you to donate money at the register. I'm just not a fan. One, I feel like it puts unnecessary pressure on customers, and they have to make a snap decision in the moment when they probably never have heard of this nonprofit. Like, I never donate this way. Like, it's like, do you want to donate $1 to the March of Dimes or like whatever? This could be a great charity, but I kind of like to research the nonprofit on my own to see whether this is like the best use of my, charitable donations. I don't like that they're doing this at the register. Not a fan. Plus, I would prefer to donate directly through the charity, not giving my money to Joann's that will donate it to the charity. And Joann's would get the tax write-off, but not me. So that kind of bothers me. The other thing that sort of rubs me the wrong way is the fact that this is like another thing that the employees are going to have to do. It's like the stores are already understaffed. A lot of the longtime people who actually knew anything about sewing, knitting, and crafts have left. They've flown the coop a long time ago. So now you have all these Gen Z employees, a lot of them who probably don't sew or craft at Joann's, having to deal with this and figure this stuff out. Having to worry about all the register donations. It's like another thing for them to do when they aren't even well staffed enough to do the core functions at the store. So I'm like, I feel like this is going to turn into a hot mess, sort of like the Joann's, remember the mask program during COVID? I heard some horror stories. On the surface, it looked cool, but I heard the actual execution of the mask making program on a ground level ended up being like a total dumpster fire, and it ended up like not working out as intended. So I'm like, is this something Joann's really needs to be doing right now? Again, no shade to this Loose Ends Project organization. I really don't know anything about it. Never heard of it before. But, could this get more people to Joann's stores? Hypothetically, yes, if this is like the meetup spot. But when I was at my local Joann's, like there was a little area that was meant to be like sort of like a hangout spot. And it was a mess. It was filled with like random boxes and like cartons of stuff. And it wasn't really in any shape to like be a hangout spot. So that's where I have very mixed emotions about this announcement. And I'm like, do they really need to be doing this right now? Another thing I'd like to point out is, all right, we got to talk about the Joann stock price. Because the Joann stock price right now is not good. The Joann's stock price last week was about 46 cents. It's about the same. Joann stock is in the toilet. Joann stock is not doing well. And I found this site. This is from Investors Observer. Oh, and by the way, all of the resources are linked in the description box if you'd like to read them for yourself. Things are not going well at Joann's. Record lows. I mean, yeah, it's currently rated as like a bearish market, means like people are going to short the stock. Basically, this is like not a buy. I found this other article. Is Joann Inc. a stock about to get hot Thursday? I think this is from a few days ago. Obviously, we know the answer is no at this point. The stock is obviously not hot. because it's at 46 cents. Yeah, this is not great. So it says, what's happening with JOANN stock? JOANN stock is lower by negative 1.91%, while the S&P 500 is up 0.08% as of Thursday. Yeah, this is not great. Over the past year, the S&P 500 is higher by 18.85%, while JOANN is down 89.45%. JOANN lost $5.82 per share over the past 12 months. So, again, I would ask, should partnering with a nonprofit and doing some new pet project be a priority for JOANN Fabrics? At this point, if I was at a management level, I would probably be focusing on other priorities right now. This is their choice. Again, I'm not condoning it, but yeah, JOANN stock tumbles 12%. Again, another article. This is from December, but again, you get the general idea. Things are not going well at JOANN's. We've already gone over what's going on, but this is not great, guys. This is just not great. And I feel like maybe they made this announcement to get some, quick PR, again, put out a press release, nice feel-good story. But my point is that JOANN's has some pretty large, deep issues that it needs to figure out. And I'm not sure if doing some project to connect people who didn't finish crafting projects with people who finished them should be number one right now. That's all I'm saying.